Good morning, everyone. See, when I point to this little group over here, including our choir, I want you to just say love. All right, nice and loud, not screaming it though. Let's try it. Okay, this group over here is going to say neighbor. All right, when I point to you. All right, I've been here for 2.5 years. You got me down. All right, well done. All right, so love and neighbor, okay, those things are unfolded, lifted up, both in the first reading and in the gospel, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to unfold both of those. What is this love that Jesus is talking about, and who is our neighbor? So as you can see, we have some of our students from St. Joseph the Worker School. So we have a particular mission there. They understand where we get our mission. We also have a theme. I just kind of want to step through that. So far, they've done an excellent job. Don't you think they have done an excellent job? Yes. All right, well, we'll just see how they do from here. All right, so let's start with our foundation. So I ask this question every single Friday. So from where do we get our mission statement? Who can tell me? Yes, Adrian, I saw your hand go up first. The gospel. What is the gospel? Shout it out.
God revealing himself to us.
God revealing himself to us. So we can know a few things. All right? It is illogical not to believe in God. That is to say, if you have a plenty of time and if you have a keen intellect and you can study and you can reason through, you will reason to the fact that God exists, that God is intelligent, that God is powerful. That's about it. Okay? You can't know who God is by reason alone. Okay? God has to come into our life and to say, let me tell you who I am. And really, I've created you. Let me tell who you are and what all I have in mind for you. And so Jesus Christ did that. He is the image of the living God. And so they know that God has revealed himself to us in Jesus Christ. That is the gospel. And basically, we look at Jesus Christ and his life to try and understand who we are and who God is. And so we do that, and we put it into our own words so that we can actually live it out each day. All right? Nice and loud. We are?
St. Joseph the Worker.
Okay, we are working for Christ and his kingdom. All right? The W stands for?
Worship of God in the New Covenant.
The O stands for?
Outstanding academics.
The R stands for?
Reverence for God.
The K stands for?
Kindness towards all.
The E stands for?
Encouragement, example, esteem for ourselves and others.
And the R stands for?
Rigor and learning, right judgment, wisdom, and charity.
Okay, so that is our foundation. How am I supposed to act on the playground? All right, kindness towards all. Okay, how am I supposed to act in the classroom? Outstanding academics. So that not only does that guide them, but it also guides us and where we're going and moving. We are working for Christ and his kingdom. That's what we're all about. Okay? So we also have a theme that helps us to kind of move through each year. Okay, boys and girls, this year God is calling you to reach for, to reach for, to reach for, and together with God, we can. Okay, we can reach new heights. All right. So really, in some regards, is it just on a grade school level, or really does it reach to every single one of us here? See, if you're not reaching for new heights in yourself and in your character, then you're backsliding. Okay, we're challenging them to step forward and to reach new heights. And in doing that, we ourselves are challenged All right? So, again, back to, well, let's do a little bit of review before we get to love and neighbor. All right? Last week, we heard Jesus approach Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus was blind from birth. There were two people that Jesus healed once he set his face like flint towards Jerusalem and started moving, knowing that he would lay down his life for us, that he would pursue us with a personal, passionate, unrelenting love. He healed the first person, and I don't know which blind person you can relate with. He healed the first one, first of all, because they needed it. They needed that healing. And when he did, he just sent them home. There was a reason for that. He must have realized that they weren't ready. Now, Bartimaeus, he gave a choice to. He healed him, and he said, go on your way. That is to say, go where you want to go. And Bartimaeus, not only did he see with his eyes, but now he saw with his heart. And the scripture says he followed Jesus. And that's the point. How do we know that we are really seeing? We know because we're filled with gratitude. When we realize, I'm sure that there are difficulties and challenges in everybody's life here. But when we are filled with gratitude at the great things that God has done for us, now we see. And in all reality, if things are clouding up in our vision and we're not filled with gratitude for the many things that God has lavished upon us, then there our voice can echo Bartimaeus. Lord, I want to see. Please, I want to see. Not only with my eyes, but with my heart. At how much He has lavished me, lavished you, lavished us with His generosity. Okay. All right, let's talk about this love and the neighbor, and really what the first reading we hear the great Shema, all right? The Lord thy God is one. Love Him with your heart, with your soul, with your mind, with your strength. Now that would have been any Jew that would have answered that question. Well, which one is the greatest commandment? The Shema. But then Jesus reached to Leviticus and pulled it right together and put them side by side and said, and love your neighbor as yourself. So again, we come to this experience of who is my neighbor, or what is love, and who is my neighbor. All right, what love are we talking about? Well, let's start with what it is not. Loving in the way that Jesus is talking about does not mean you have to like the person. Lord, Father, I don't like a lot of people, all right? Well, you don't have to like them in order to love them, because we are called to love all. All right, so I don't have to like them in order to love as the gospel is talking about. I don't have to like them. I don't have to ignore justice. Okay, let me say that again. We don't have to ignore justice. In other words, they did this to me. Do I just pretend that it didn't happen? Well, no. We certainly don't ignore abuse. We don't tolerate abuse. So it's not liking the person, it's not ignoring justice, it's not tolerating abuse. Well, what is it then? It's deeply desiring that person to be in union with God. And I mean sincerely. Well, I got to just jump through this hoop, so hope you're in union with God. Okay. No, to love your neighbor is to sincerely pray for them and to interact with them in a cordial and a thoughtful way. Kind of difficult, huh? Well, it gets a lot more difficult when we find out who our neighbor is. Who is our neighbor? All right. Do not and I mean it, do not give any indication of where you're not in this place. But don't give any indication. Don't mutter anything. Don't say, all right. What is your political party? Your neighbor is the opposite party. Or parties. Okay? That is not a joke. That is really where the gospel meets the road. Okay? Because the reality is we're very, very emotional when it comes to politics. And there's no two ways about it. The neighbor is that person who is on the opposite side of what we're talking about. Now, does that mean we have to like them? No. All right. Does that mean that we ignore justice? No. Tolerate abuse? No. I really have to pray for them in a sincere way? Yes. When I'm talking with them, I have to treat them like they're a son of God or a daughter of God, which they are, no matter what. Yes. All right, that seemed to hit home. Let's take another step here in the Upper Ohio Valley. Maybe some of you are from Weir High School. All right, who's your neighbor? Brooke. All right, Brooke, your neighbor is Weir. All right, or I mean, in other different times and stuff like that. What about Madonna? Your neighbor is Weir. All right, don't say it, Father. Don't say it. Yes, Madonna, your neighbor is Wheeling Central. No! Okay. It is. It's true. Now, don't stop there, and I am, but don't you stop. Think about the other opposites, the difficulties, those people that we have the most difficulty with. That is your neighbor. I don't have to like them. I don't ignore justice or tolerate abuse, but I should be praying for them. And definitely, if I'm interacting, that there is a sense that we are lifted in our dignity as a child of God, as a son of God or a daughter of God, and I am self-possessed to the point where I can have a conversation that is dignified and that I truly try to interact with a discussion. Okay. When I think of that, I think of Saint Zita. Who can tell me anything about Saint Zita? Yes, Adrian, your hand's up first. Yes, go ahead.
She lived with this family. Every day she got up an hour early to pray, and even though they weren't very nice, she still stuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then just around when they started to like her, she died.
Yes, she did. All right, and so she had a great sense about her. Her virtue was meekness. What is meekness? Yes, Chloe. Slow to anger. So we can invoke the intercession of Saint Zita for meekness. Okay, meekness is not false humility. It's a slow to anger. It helps us to keep a clear mind so that we can love. All right? And really, we're exercising wisdom. So what is wisdom? Wisdom is to think,
Clearly.
judge,
Rightly.
and to act.
Precisely.
Okay, we think clearly, we judge rightly, we act decisively. All right? That is ultimately what we're called to do in following Jesus, who pursued us with a personal, passionate, unrelenting love. We are called to love, to understand what that means, and to love our neighbor.